Here are 5 things you need to analyze when it comes to your performances or when it comes to recording yourself in the practice room. And this is also what I do as a professional sax player who's performed and toured all over the world in front of over 1 million people. These are the top 5 things you need to listen for when it comes to listening back to your performances and making sure you're on the right track. Number 1 is to make sure your timing and rhythm is locked in with the band. Now, you also might be playing with a backing track or a DJ, but whatever it is, make sure your timing and rhythm are on point, because this is the most noticeable thing that people are going to hear when it comes to your performances. If your timing is off, if your rhythm is off, if you're playing jazz and your swing feel isn't quite right, that is the one thing people are going to notice, even if they don't realize what it might be. They're going to hear it and go, there's something a little off about that person's saxophone playing. And it's usually to do with their rhythm. So listening back to your performances, seeing what your timing is like, seeing what your rhythm is like, and whatever issues you're having, maybe it's just certain parts of the horn, maybe it's up in a higher register, maybe it's down in a lower register, wherever you're having issues with your rhythm, go ahead and find a way to work on those parts of the instrument. Work on those transitions. Maybe it's in the break of the saxophone where you're playing notes or you're playing melody lines inside that area of the horn that transitions from one octave to the other, and you're messing up the rhythm, you're messing up your timing. Go in and loop those sections of the song. Go in and practice in that area of the horn so that you can improve on your timing and your rhythm. Now, there's 4 more things I want you to look out for when it comes to listening to recordings and analyzing your playing. But if you want to get more in-depth instruction on how I teach my students how to do this, go and check out the Saxophone Mastery Blueprint at saxophonemasterclass.com/blueprint, and I go through my entire saxophone mastery system that shows you how to improve not just on your timing and your rhythm, but also your tone, your technique, your improvisation skills. All of that is inside the Saxophone Mastery Blueprint. So go ahead and check it out. There's also a link in the description. Now, the second thing you want to analyze when it comes to listening back to your performances is your intonation. That means your tuning, whether or not you're sharp or flat. There might be certain notes on the horn where you're playing it sharp or you're playing it flat. This happens a lot on the saxophone, even to pro sax players, where they end up playing sharp in the higher register of the horn and they end up playing flat in the lower register of the horn. Now, a lot of people like to blame their equipment. They like to blame their mouthpiece. They like to blame the instrument. But the truth is, a lot of it has to do with you and making sure you're working on the right things. Not just working to a tuner, but working on your breath support, working on your embouchure placement, working on your throat, your voicing, to make sure that your intonation is on point across the whole range of the instrument. So a couple of things to look out for when it comes to intonation is listening to your high notes. Are you playing them sharp? Meaning, are you biting down on the reed too much when you go up into the higher register? If you are, then that has a lot to do with your breath support. You want to make sure you're taking deep breaths during your performances so that you don't go out of tune and start overcompensating by biting down on the reed in the higher register of the instrument, especially up in those palm keys and in the altissimo register of the instrument. The opposite is true for the lower end of the instrument. If you start playing low notes but you're loosening your embouchure too much, you're doing too much relaxation in your jaw, and those low notes start to come out flat, well, then you need to focus in on the low range of the instrument. Start doing more long tones, start to focus in on keeping more of a firm embouchure in the lower register. Again, getting that deep breath support in the lower register and spending some time in that lower end of the instrument. This is so important when it comes to performing, because if your intonation, if your tuning is off, that's another thing a lot of people are going to notice. Whether or not they realize you're out of tune, they're going to hear that there's something off about your playing. And if you are out of tune across the whole range of the instrument, there is one thing that you can do, which is to readjust your mouthpiece on the cork, right? So the mouthpiece, when you pull the mouthpiece out, starts to make the instrument more flat, and when you push it in, it makes it more sharp. So make sure to find that perfect middle ground of keeping that middle register in tune when it comes to positioning your mouthpiece on the neck. And from there, start to work on those other techniques, not biting down in the higher register and not loosening your embouchure too much in the lower register. Now, the third thing you want to look out for when you're listening back and watching your performances on saxophone is where your fingers are on the instrument. Because a lot of people, when they're performing, they might be getting into it, they might be putting in a lot of energy, and they start to notice that their fingers are flying off the the horn. I call this flying fingers. When they're playing songs, the fingers are going right up like this, and this is what might be affecting your timing and your rhythm, is that you're not able to transition smoothly between the notes because your fingers are flying off the horn too much, and that stops you from having smooth transitions between notes on the saxophone. So a good way to practice this is to look in the mirror, and as you're practicing scales, as you're practicing songs, try to keep your fingers as close to the instrument as possible. I call this sticky fingers. So you're actually always placing your fingers on the keys even if you're not pressing them down. And this is a really important practice technique for helping you keep your fingers close to the instrument when you're playing songs and improvising. Now, of course, your fingers might still come off the keys when you're performing, but it's about reducing the distance between your fingers and the keys when you lift up your fingers of each note. Try to keep the fingers as close as possible to the sax. Fourth thing to listen for and look for is how much expression are you putting into your playing? How much joy are you putting into your playing? Do you look like you're having fun? Do you look like you're having a good time? Because this is probably one of the most important aspects of being a performing sax player, is looking like you're having fun and looking like you're enjoying yourself. Most people will actually overlook a lot of the previous things I mentioned if it looks like you're having fun, because the reality is most audience members just want to be entertained, and the best way to entertain people is to look like you're having fun on stage. Enjoy yourself when you're playing the music and be expressive in your playing, even if your timing goes off, even if your intonation goes off. If you're putting everything into your performance, people might even overlook those things or not even notice those things because they see that you're having a good time. There's a lot to be said for this, because even if your rhythm's good, your timing's good, your intonation's good, your transitions between notes is good, if you don't look like you're having a good time, a lot of audience members will actually just get bored and they might not think you're very good anyway. And that is just the truth about being a performing sax player and entertaining people. And the fifth thing to listen for and analyze when it comes to listening back to your performances is how good your solos sound, how good your improvisation sounds. Does it sound musical? Does it sound melodic? Are you overplaying? Are you playing bum notes? Are there things that you need to improve on when it comes to your improvisation skills? And this is going to inform what things you should be working on when it comes to scales, when it comes to keys. This is going to inform what you should focus on when it comes to phrasing. There's so much to unpack when it comes to being a good saxophone improviser and try to improve on with every performance. If you're always messing up notes in a particular song, then work on the key, work on the scale of that song. Work out different improvisation patterns that you can practice. Go back and practice soloing over that specific song and try to be more musical. Try to quote the melody more. Learn the melody inside out if you haven't already. These are just simple ways that you can improve on your improvisation and on your soloing on specific songs. So those are the 5 things you should listen for when it comes to analyzing your performances on saxophone: your rhythm and timing, your intonation and tuning, where your fingers are positioned on the saxophone, how you're performing and showing that you're enjoying yourself on stage, and finally analyzing your solos to make sure that you're playing melodically, playing with good phrasing, and you're playing well inside that key and inside that song. Again, if you want to learn more about how to structure your practice plans, how to listen back to your recordings in more detail, how to play like the players on your favorite recordings, especially if you're an experienced saxophone player like my online coaching students, getting out and performing more, wanting to build up their confidence on stage, go ahead and check out my Saxophone Mastery Blueprint at saxophonemasterclass.com/blueprint. There's also a link in the description of this video, and I take you through my 3-step saxophone mastery system that can help you become the ultimate saxophone performer. So go ahead and check that out. And if you want to learn more about how to build up more confidence on stage, go and check out this video as well. All right, my friend, until the next lesson, happy playing.